Kleenex. I don't know why we don't put some in here.
Everyone. It is 6 o'clock and the work session for Tuesday, September 7th is called to order. Ms. White, can we have the roll call, please?
Yes, roll call for Tuesday, September 2nd, 7th, work session. Councilmember James. Councilmember Anton.
Evening, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Hello, everybody present.
Councilmember Aiken Wells.
Here.
Councilmember Mears.
Here.
Mayor and council, you have a quorum.
Excellent, thank you. Dr. Cooper, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. City Manager's report. Just to remind everyone, Clayton County Rental Assistance Program has been extended to October 3rd for Clayton County residents needing help with rental assistance. And they can apply for funding through contact through ERAP, ERAP at claytoncountyga.gov or contact 404-858-6147. The Clayton County Police Department has commended a 45-day warning period to notify and help drivers adjust to the automated traffic enforcement of school zones. And this program was instituted nationwide due to the spike in pedestrian fatalities over the past decade, in which Georgia became one of the 5 deadliest states for pedestrians, with the 7th highest fatality rate. Early voting is October 12th through 29th from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. There are 2 Saturdays, October 16th and October 23rd, and those hours are 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The location for early voting is the City of Forest Park Senior Center located at 5087 Park Avenue, Forest Park, Georgia. General election voting will be held November 2nd from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the City of Forest Park Gymnasium, 803 Forest Parkway in Forest Park. Absentee ballot applications can be requested by contacting our city clerk election superintendent, Ms. Diane White's office at 678-704-4784 or via email at elections@forestparkga, all ran together.gov, or by visiting the Elaine Corley Recreation Center, 803 Forest Parkway, Forest Park, Georgia, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Clayton County Community Services is hosting a job fair on September 10th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 1000 Main Street in Forest Park. You must check in with resumes between 8:30 a.m. and 9 a.m. Several employers, including the City of Forest Park, will be present and looking for highly qualified candidates to fill open positions. Under our city operations, Councilman Gutierrez hosted a community awareness meeting with the Clayton County Police Department and Forest Park Police Department, addressing several issues within jurisdictions, checkpoints and such. And it was a great meeting. And I do know that we will be having more of those meetings. So look forward to them in the future to attend. Next, Councilman Gutierrez will be hosting the Teen Night LGBTQI event on September 10th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at 850 Main Street. August 24th, I participated in an awesome Zoom meeting with the parent liaisons with the Clayton County Schools. It was actually just supposed to be a meet and greet, but it turned into a great sharing of ideas and concerns. And I'm looking forward to continuing to develop those partnerships. And I thank Councilwoman James for initiating that meeting. Forest Park Police Department has kicked off its active preventative patrol by law enforcement Apple program. Out front, you've seen some colorful cards that the Forest Park Police Department will be checking different areas of the city and different businesses and residents and leaving that card to let you know that we've been there to check. So thank you, Forest Park PD. The City of Forest Park also has initiated the school zone cameras and submitted applications for all 8 schools in the city. As of now, we know that we had 5 schools approved, 1 was pending, and 2 were denied by the state. And those areas will be posted with signage to warn drivers to slow down and adhere to the speed in the school zone. So please make sure you're slowing down. Lastly, I would just like to give a huge kudos to our council aides, Tanisha Dixon and Mr. Demarion Moses, and the City of Forest Park Public Works Department headed by Director Jinks, the Recreation and Leisure Department headed by Director Tariq Maxwell, and our police department headed by Chief Clark, and the fire department by Chief Clemens for helping make this Labor Day weekend tailgate and fireworks show so amazing. And I just wanted to commend all of those departments and all those that I may have didn't mention here, but it was a great event and it was a great time for everyone. So thank you.
Excellent. Yes. Thank you. Chief Clemens. Oh, yes. Oh, Chief Turner. Oh, okay. And Chief, if you don't mind, I omitted this in total blunder, but can we do a moment of silence? Or Gaddy, please.
Yes, ma'am. For those that do not know, the fire department had a loss of a member last Thursday, the 2nd of September. John Clay Gaddy, who was an FAO paramedic. We'd like him to rest today. Council, join me in a moment of silence in memory of him. Amen. Thank you, Madam. Okay. Mayor, council, city manager, the COVID update for September. As we all have seen on the news, COVID-19 numbers continue to rise again statewide, and the same is true within the city. Current average rate of daily positives among those tested statewide is 16.8% over the past 2 weeks. For comparison, Clayton County's average rate of daily positives is 13.9%. And from the city, we have a current cumulative total of 2,757 cases in the 30297 zip code. This equals about 9% of the county cases, so that actually is slightly better than how we were trending for the past 6 to 8 months at 9.5%. The COVID-19 vaccines are available now for all individuals ages 12 and up, with continued testing underway for children under the age of 12. Pfizer has received full authorization from the CDC, and Moderna and Johnson & Johnson are currently both in the same approval process. These vaccines have shown to be highly effective in minimizing the effects of COVID-19 in vaccinated individuals, as well as helping limit its spread. Vaccines are strongly encouraged for all, and especially those with underlying medical issues that can be further complicated by COVID-19. The fire department continues to encourage good hygiene practices, washing hands and using hand sanitizer, distancing of particularly of unvaccinated individuals, and wearing masks in closed indoor environments, especially for the non-vaccinated. Measures are still in place citywide in all departments to minimize the risk of sick employees at work and exposures to those coworkers. Any questions? I would be.
Yes, sir.
I was watching Dr. Show or something in which he said that he's supposed to be this big guru in medicine, that the cloth masks are not as efficient as the regular sterile mask. Is that?
That's there are a variety of different studies and results that are coming out. I think the latest from the CDC does recommend the use of medical grade masks for higher efficiency.
Well, it was one of those shows, 60 Minutes or something, and the guy that was doing the show said, well, I've been wearing this cloth mask for a year. Now you tell me it's not any good. And what he said, well, you need to check your mask.
I mean, I think ultimately something is better than nothing. And a lot of the potential downfall of the general public running out and buying a medical grade mask is then it makes that much more difficult for the responders to have access to. Not that we want to corner the market, but we also we have our needs as well. So, but I think something is better than nothing, which you can get level of protection.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Thank you.
I'm sorry, Councilman, Madam Mayor. I did hesitate I left off one bullet on my report is the introduction of the new hired staff that we had since the last meeting. So that's we'll start with Chief Clark.
Talking to your mic, please.
I thought it was like what you used to do before in terms of putting your city manager's report on the screen, because there's some good information about the rental assistance. It'd be good if you put it on the screen so people could know.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, members of the body, to our citizen audience. I want to introduce our newest employees to the Forest Park Police Department. First and
Chief, is the mic on? Okay. Just talk more into it, please.
First will be Alexis Mays, and she comes to us by way of the Clayton County Sheriff's Department. Ms. Mays, if you will stand up. Samuel Taylor, he comes to us by way of the East Point Police Department. He's a certified police officer. Eric Ellis come to us by way of the Fulton County Sheriff's Department. He's a certified police officer. And we just recently had two to graduate from the Clayton County Training Academy. The first is Officer Cherie James. The last but certainly not least is Officer Isaiah Ellis, and he brought us honors. He graduated Top Gun from the Clayton County.
Woo! Chief, I want to add to that. He also changed his diapers. He was at the food truck event and he changed his baby's diaper. That man is a badass.
That was, unless Ms. Diane wants to introduce our new council aide as well. I know you all know I've been working with him, but I want to bring him up.
The executive office hired a replacement staff, a council aide, Demarion Moses. Demarion is an artist that graduated from Georgia State University class of 2021, earning his bachelor's in art with a minor in film. In his time in school, he utilized his skills as a visual arts and designer to perform freelance work aiding clients developing visuals in various mediums to bolster the outreach and recognition of their brand. He believes these skills will allow him to be an asset to the city of Forest Park and the executive team, though he feels certain that his greatest asset is creativity, positive attitude, and integrity. Demarion, as we affectionately call him, D, he is thankful for this opportunity to work with us and excited to see the positive impact we are able to make on this community. And he wishes peace, love, positivity, and creativity to the city of Forest Park.
Okay. Old business, Sister City itemized list. Background and history. On August 2nd of 2021, the City Council approved a budget of $15,000 to participate in Sister Cities International with 3 cities in Haiti, Ghana, and Senegal. At that time, it was the direction of the council prior to any purchases being made that an itemized list be presented for approval, submitted for council review and discretion is an itemized listing showing what could be purchased and shipped using available funding. The city manager is seeking council direction on how they would like to proceed with this matter. Any comments, questions on this item?
No, I seen all 3 lists and I thought it was a great job by the city manager to break it all down so people could see it clearly. But I was in favor of the last one for 14,000. Because if you're gonna help people, just might as well just go on and just put your best foot forward. I thought that was the best one. I'm not sure what other council members felt about that.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Yes, I had a couple of questions. I see the itemized items, and I'm wondering, are these for the 3 different countries that we're helping? That's the first question. And the second question is, do we know that these items are in need? Like I see the iPad, the iPhone, the laptops, and things of that nature. Are these the items that are like on their wish list? Do we have a wish list from these countries, or this is something we just, just decided that we're gonna do? Those are my 2.
To answer that. This
Yes,
is
sir.
basically a school, this is education. And yes, the principals do feel that in terms of the iPads, the laptops, and the book bags would be appropriate at this time, only because you have a lot of students that don't have access to internet. So these are your kids that will Google up the internet and find out, how to be a doctor, a police officer, a lawyer, a mayor. So it's appropriate for this setting that they have access to internet. And yes, that's one of their wish lists.
Any other questions or
So
comments?
the other question, Madam Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
was about which countries are these items?
Well, Councilwoman, I can answer that. This is actually, I did not specify what country this would be used for. What I did is I brought an itemized list based on the dollar amount that would be provided. So if you did it with with all three countries at 5,000 apiece for the entire 15,000, you would look at what could be purchased with that. So it's not designated to any one or any specific. That would be up to the council.
Councilwoman Wells?
So now I have another question. So nobody knows what country this money went to. Nobody knows where the $15,000 went to. But my first question was, it says the sister city's budget. So in that budget, does it have the traveling expense? Because I know Councilman Antoine traveled to Haiti for these reasons. So is that in this budget, or what budget did that come out of? For the traveling expenses to Haiti? And is that something, because I can't remember, it's been a minute since we discussed it. So was that something that the council discussed as far as traveling expenses?
That would be something that I would have to look at from last year. There's no travel in this budget here with this.
Okay, so if someone was traveling for the sister cities, then it should have come out of the sister city budget, if that's what they were traveling for. So maybe we need to look into that, and also where the money is going. I mean, we know it's been spent, but where is it going? It's 3 different countries. Who's responsible for knowing that? You can't just be sending money. If we have 3 sister cities, then each city should be getting $5,000. It shouldn't just be designated to one country.
I got a point of order, Mayor.
Wait, I'm sorry, Councilman Gutierrez did you want to say something?
Yeah,
sir?
my question was like, I guess we have these 3 cities that we committed to, but I guess who are our point of contacts in Ghana and in Senegal? That was just my question, like if we are going to commit to just who the other people were or what they would be going to if they went to the Ghana and Senegal. Because I guess with Haiti, I know that it's going to the school, but I don't know. I just know these countries by their name.
I do know that we did make contact with one person from Ghana. We did receive that letter. Part of the issue that we had with this last year that, we discovered was that some of the letters that were supposed to be sent once the council approved the whole Sister Cities initiative was not sent to those particular countries. So we never received a response from those countries on who or what or where. So that's something that the city clerk and myself have been working on diligently to try to find and get that correspondence happening before we start saying that we have something for your country. However, we did find a letter, I think, that was supposed to go to Ghana, and I think that letter did go off. We're still looking for the one for Senegal, and we've been using contacts that we've had previously that was sent with the materials that was sent previously, and then those contacts that were given to us through Councilman Antoine.
Any other questions or comments?
Well,
Oh, yes, sir.
This is just a outline you prepared for us, right? I mean, this is nothing in stone how we spend the money.
No, sir, this is
You can
just an
break it
outline.
down how
Yes,
like
sir.
we want to. I feel like we need to, we're in it and we need to make our word good, but these people are starving to death. They don't have water. They don't have clean bathrooms and all that. You can't go to school if you're dead. So if you send all this money over for schools and can't nobody get to school, I just think we need to break it down and look at it a little bit more. I'm for giving them the money, some money. But we got sister cities here in the city, Forest Park, that needs help. And if we can give them something more monetary, something that will, this is all good if they can get to school and school's there and they got water and they got something to eat and all that kind of stuff. I just think we need to look at it a little bit more. The amounts that you give us was just an option under what we are talking about. So, you know, I think I need more discussion on it myself.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Councilwoman Wells.
I think so too, and I think somebody needs to know where the money is going. Like, nobody can answer that question. Just, I mean, if I was from another country or another city and I'm doing sister city and I'm the only one that knows anything, that's not okay.
I can answer the question. The question's been answered numerous of
Not from
times.
you. I'm saying somebody that's other than you. Someone in the city needs to know where the money is going, making sure that these people are getting what it said, what we're sending. Like, who's responsible for that in the city besides you?
Okay, and again, when we have these items that was sent before, it was the city clerk at that time that sent it to the designated area. So, and we made contacts with the principals, there was pictures sent. The mayor was asked to come, but things occurred where she couldn't come, but everybody's welcome to come and view these schools. This is not rocket science. It's like you go to church and your church partners up with another church overseas, okay? And you all welcome to go on this mission trip. We just chose this country because this is where I'm from, and they are a good school where they don't have all these technology items. There are some of the phones that were used phones already. We had the fire department that has 2 trucks that's not being used. They're just collecting dust. They're not here to help anything. They're just in the city. So why don't you just donate stuff or items that people are not using here? So we're not taking one pot and saying people from Forest Park doesn't need help. Just like you're in a church. I'm sure there's people in the church that needs help too, but what? The pastor makes sure is that they could partner up with another country. We're not saying that nobody in Forest Park needs help. We are helping Forest Park. But if you have items that's not being used that you could donate to give, just like the other day, just to help everybody. The other day, we just had a major hurricane in Louisiana. Georgia Powers came and helped the other state. Don't people in Georgia need help too? So whenever we get this notion that this is like rocket science, this is simple stuff, folks. It's a school, 2 schools that we partnered up with. One of them, there's about 300 kids. The other one's like 250 kids. We're sending like, what, 10 laptops for 250 kids. We're sending book bags. So it's not like, you know, this is huge. This is something that we shouldn't like. So to answer your question, yes, the items are being purchased here and sent to the country, and you're more than welcome to go and see the school. You probably wouldn't because the conditions are there are very horrible. But if you decide to go there, you could go there yourself and see the laptops and the kids using it and how they can become successful whenever they grow up.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying, but that's not my question. We budgeted $15,000 to send to these 3 countries. So my question is, who from the city besides yourself knows where this money is going? That's my question. I'm not talking about the items. Yeah, we want to make sure they're getting to who they need to get to too, you know, but the money, that's what I'm more concerned with.
There
the
is,
citizens'
okay,
money.
we're not sending cash.
No,
We're not-
let me,
Someone
one
other than
second.
you. That's
Yes,
my thing.
and so with the items that were sent, and I don't know if Miss Diane can look it up, but there had to have been an address on the shipping label.
Yes, and I was gonna say, Madam Mayor, we do have an address on the shipping label, because I was not in Haiti. I can't verify, but anything but from the pictures that I've seen and the address and return label we got from DHL, that it was delivered where we put on the shipping address.
Any other questions or comments? New business.
And there is a tracking number because DHL does have a tracking number.
Can
So
they
you're
track
more
the
than
money?
welcome
Can
to
they
track.
Track the money.
Was
Well,
that-
the items were purchased. This is, work session, okay. New business, confirmation of the Director of Information Technology, background and history. The City Council approved the city manager's request for a Director of Information Technology to help enhance and build our city technology infrastructure.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would like to present to the council for confirmation as IT Director, Mr. Josh Cox. Mr. Cox is a graduate of the University of South Carolina with a Bachelor's of Science degree in Integrated Information Technology. He also has a national certification as a Chief Information Officer from the University of North Carolina. He served for 6 years with the U.S. Army Reserves as a Signal Support System Specialist, where he was responsible for maintaining, deploying, and operating communications equipment and ensuring his fellow soldiers were properly trained. He received multiple awards during his service and has an honorable discharge after the completion of his enlistment. Most recently, he has served in several positions with an information technology service provider that offers customers, which include municipalities, private cloud hosting, custom web applications developments, SharePoint consulting, web design, and managed services. He has served the last 5 years as a virtual CIO for multiple municipalities in the state, including Georgia. So I would like to present for confirmation Mr. Joshua Cox.
Council, city manager, appreciate you guys, inviting me to this opportunity. I'm extremely excited to be part of Forest Park.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Mike, I'm sorry, welcome. I'm sorry. It wasn't for you.
Oh,
Thank you so much. I'm
thank
sorry.
you.
I'm sorry. It's
Yes.
for, Mike, the only thing I was looking at was when the job was posted, it was up under the Public Works Department and it shouldn't have been unless somebody changed the org chart, because remember when we talked about, the IT department, it would be its own department and not under Public Works, because we removed it from under Public Works.
No, IT is its own department. It has
Okay,
its own
because it was
director.
posted as under Public Works, that's why I just wanted to make sure.
Item 3, mission, vision, and value statement, background and history. The City of Forest Park has several goals and initiatives that has been defined in a comprehensive plan. However, a mission and vision and set of values is just as important to the strategic future of the city, to helping the employees and residents know the purpose of our existence and core values on which it is governed. It is extremely important. It is an extremely important part of a city's strategy to help set priorities, allocate resources, and ensure that everyone is working towards common goals and objectives, providing a roadmap to the future. The attached mission, vision, and set of values was crafted by city for this council review and discretion. Dr. Cooper, you want to read? Oh. Are there any questions or comments? And
I just want to say I'm excited about this, Mayor, because yeah, I just think, sometimes the comments or visions up here can get clouded with things that aren't aligned with any of these things. So I'm glad that, we're going to implement a mission, a vision, and a value statements where we can reference, is this argument retaining this? Is this moving us forward towards this? So it's just, I think, going to help the accountability of the people here.
Any other questions or comments? I'll just read the mission statement. It is the mission of the City of Forest Park to enhance, strengthen, and grow our city by collaborating with the community to provide the highest level of service, striving to be recognized as a diverse community that values and respects all members. We will strive to provide fair, professional, and courteous service through transparency and open communication. As we work to achieve this mission, we will have integrity beyond reproach while employing fiscal discipline and innovation. In this work, there will be no praises and raises for mediocrity. Vision. Our vision is to be a welcoming, safe, family-oriented, fiscally sound city with an emerging urban vibrancy that maximizes its geographic location to be the most attractive residential and commercial destination in the state. Values. Collaboration. We will work to maximize impact by incorporating diverse community stakeholders' feedback, expertise, and resources. Creativity. We will work to encourage imaginative and innovative solutions to foster positive changes in our community. Strategy. We will work to engage in strategic thinking that allows for efficient planning, objective data-driven decisions, and flexibility to meet community needs. Integrity. We will operate transparently with the highest level of professional and ethical behavior in our endeavors and encourage the spirit of generosity. respect, and equity. We will operate justly, without discrimination, to ensure equitable access to all. We celebrate the unique attributes of individuals and treat each other with sensitivity and respect.
I helped you with that. Man.
Item 4, title change from training captain to division chief. Background and history. The purpose of this request is to streamline the efficiencies of the fire department operations and to have consistency within the divisions of the fire department. Currently, this position holds the title as training officer fire captain with duties, roles, and responsibilities higher than a captain and equivalent to a fire battalion chief and EMS division chief. Our fire department is the only fire department in the surrounding area to not have a training chief as the head of the training division. I believe that changing the position title would help streamline training that requires communications with outside agencies and within our very own fire department. Any questions or comments on this item?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
the only question I have is there a person in that position already right now?
Chief. Hello.
Yes, we currently have a training captain. What I'm looking to do is I stabilize the fire department and develop the communication on the org chart. I'm looking to have both divisions have equal ranking. There's no budget increase with it. There's no pay increase. It's just a simple title change.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you. Item 5, artwork murals, background and history. The City Council has discussed on several occasions wanting public artwork or murals displayed in specific areas in the city. The city would like the opportunity to promote local talent and engage the community, turning empty city walls to huge public canvases that have a lasting positive effect on the city. The city manager is seeking direction on how the council would like to proceed. Any questions or comments on this item?
I have a comment. I'm a big advocate for the arts. I'm a really big fan of Hateville and Atlanta and what they've done to some art spaces. So, I really would like the council to consider this. I don't know what it looks like for municipalities, Dr. Cooper, so that's homework for you. But I just want to make a comment because this today, my name was mentioned and I was a little upset, but Miss Robin Kemp said in the Clayton Crescent report, Councilman Hector Gutierrez has repeatedly lobbied from the dais for his wife to paint a mural in the city. So I don't know, I felt like it was a bit distasteful, and I talked to Robin about it, and she said that I had said that before, and I mentioned to her that if I did say that, then I would donate my council salary to the Clayton Crescent to help out if she finds that. So if anybody can find that, help her out. But we talked, she apologized, and it's over. But now the worst part is I have to put up with my wife saying she's a muralist because it got published. So she's not really, it's just a joke. But, yeah, she has many talents, but drawing is not one of them. And I just thought that was, just, not being positive. But I'm going to get off my soap opera. I don't want to bore y'all with that. But any ideas or, I identified a whole bunch of different spaces and walls with the teen council. And I know that it would really improve, a commute to school from one of our students or a commute to the bus stop from one of our city hard workers if they saw a nice quote on a wall or a picture of someone that looks like them.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. I was just thinking out loud how Kim is very involved with the parents at the school and the students. Where you can come together and find out some artists in the school. Volunteer their time. What you think?
Yeah, I really want it to be more like a professional level.
Yeah.
I do want to get the students involved and engaged. I know I've spoken with Dr. Cooper before about the brick wall that's on Conley Road, right in front of the cemetery. And I'm working to get a RFP sample from Murals and, or not from Murals, from Clayton County Arts. Because I want it to be something that's lasting, like 5 to 10 year period. But I am for, like you said, getting the students engaged and
surprised.
involved. But, you know, just make sure we're using the right paint, got the right, you know, we just want it to be something that's just not gonna wash away in, you know, 6 months. It's gonna be gone and we gotta, you know. But as far as the seeking direction from the council, Madam Mayor, I would just say that the city manager should go forth and try to find, you know, I know I'm working actively to try to get a RFP sample to you. But I'm definitely for these blank walls being.
Absolutely.
Training, the recreation center beside the pool, it was one of our residents came in and painted that.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, I can say
Yes.
one of the things that would happen with the RFP process is that the council would be designating what areas they would want the murals to appear. And we could actually have artists or everyone go by to give us their vision for what they would envision to be in that area. And we can, as council, as community, whichever way we want to do that, it would just be really the budgetary purpose of once it's chosen to fund it and how would we want to go about that.
Any other questions or
I
comments?
think that'd be a good way to bring the community together.
Yeah.
So do you want locations right now, Dr. Cooper?
Well, no, I put this on for discussion just so I'm not sure. I've had a couple of discussions with council members and they told me a couple of locations, as Councilwoman James said, but I'm not sure exactly how many locations. But at this point, if I'm given the direction by the council, what I would do is just start the outlook to drawing up the RFP and putting the information out to start getting people interested. And the council can email me or whatever, and we can put all the locations together and choose which locations the council would want.
Madam
Thank
Mayor,
you. Yes, ma'am.
one other note I wanted to say, if you all would go by Main Street, there is a barber shop that's on the corner there. I met him the other day, Mr. Williams. There's a mural that he has painted inside of his shop. It is amazing. He is an alumni of Forest Park High School. And it's like, has a football, has State Farmers Market, has City of Forest Park, and it's just beautiful. And if you all want to see it, I have it on my phone, but if you would go by and just take a look at that, it's awesome. He decided he played football at Forest Park High School, graduated, went to Savannah State University, ran track at Savannah, and decided he wanted to come back to Clayton County to give back. So he actually lives in Rex, but his business is in Forest Park on Main Street. So if you all need a nice haircut, go by and see Mr. Williams and see the mural. But he's also a teacher in Clayton County Public School, so I'm assuming that he's only open after hours.
Thank you. Item 6, American Rescue Funds Allocation Recommendation and Survey Results. Background and history. The coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds provide a substantial infusion of resources to help turn the tide on the pandemic, address its economic fallout, and lay the foundation for a strong and equitable recovery. The City of Forest Park received its first allocation of $3,738,098 and posted and promoted an online survey from July 12th, 2021 to August 30th, 2021, requesting community input on how these funds should be allocated. Based on the community survey results, conversation regarding strategic priorities and needs of city operations, the city manager and his team has put forward the following recommendation for council review and direction. Any questions or comments? I know I had some. I wanted to know, and Mike, this may be a question for you. Has there been an update on the eviction moratorium?
The national moratorium was determined to be unconstitutional, so that goes out of, is not in effect. various counties, and I don't know about Clayton County, I'd have to check, but a number of local courts have imposed their own local moratoriums. And so we can check Clayton County to determine if they will follow suit with some of the other counties.
If I'm not mistaken, the moratorium is actually scheduled to expire October 3rd.
And so could we allocate some funding for our residents should they be in a predicament?
Yes, ma'am.
What about for tree removals services? I know it's touchy because it's private property, but can we allow up to X amount of dollars as a grant?
That would be something we would have to explore. Particularly if there is a public safety hazard for trees, that are
Mhm.
adjacent to the right of way, things of that sort. But if it's purely private, then we would run into some issues with the gratuities clause, but we can explore that.
Okay, and then what about for like homeowner incentives, like to paint their homes, roofing, or something of that nature?
We can explore.
We can explore, okay. Any other questions or comments? Item 7, Resolution 2021-30 to accept the City of Forest Park LCI Main Street Report. Background and history. The City of Forest Park was awarded a grant by the Atlanta Region Commission to update the Livable Centers Initiative study for the Main Street Overlay District in downtown Forest Park. The purpose of the study was to revisit the original LCI plan and keep it relevant to the current context and economic conditions. The city had a robust public engagement process that included city officials, numerous public meetings, workshops, and public hearings at the Planning Commission meeting to encourage stakeholders and citizen participation in the process for shaping the report. Are there any questions or comments before Mr. Shelby takes the floor? You have the floor, sir.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members.
Good evening.
I'm happy to say that we're finally coming to an end with the LCI plan. As the mayor mentioned, we have had a robust public engagement process that included many of you, numerous public hearings, workshops, and public hearing at the Planning Commission. And I must say that I was a little surprised and nervous that we were not going to have enough participation, but we did. And I think for those council members that got on, you could see that people were really engaged in this process. And I was just thinking about the vision that Dr. Cooper presented before this, and this ordinance is in line with that vision. We had a robust public hearing. And tonight I've asked Bob Beagle with Lord, Sergeant, and Ack. I always get that wrong. It's Lord, Ack, and Sergeant to come up and just give us a brief overview of what's in the plan that you will be considering for adoption or by resolution at the council meeting. Bob, if you can come up, please.
Thank you, James. Madam Mayor and Council, thank you for having me. Really appreciate it. I will try to be quick. Zip through a lot of stuff here, but I'm happy to come back to anything. Before I go through that, I do want to say, as the lead consultant, I'm just the tip of the spear. I was just one small part. I had a whole working for me. I had a couple of sub-consultants, including the Hummingbird firm, which some of you interacted with, and the advisory group. We also have great help from James and his staff, and Abraham and several others. I want to commend your city staff because they were really part of this process. Quickly on the study area, this is sort of the downtown idea here is really about updating Main Street, creating more of an identifiable downtown. Really sort of a linear stretch along the street. One of the first things we heard in engaging people was, where's downtown? Not real sure what you consider downtown. That's, I think, was telling to us about trying to help. James mentioned we had a pretty robust process. It was about 8 months. Started in the fall of 2020, so it was the throes of COVID. So we essentially did all of our engagement almost entirely virtually. It was about 8 months worth of work. We had 8 project management team meetings with internal with your staff. We had several stakeholder interviews, about 20 different people we talked to at various times. We had a core team, which was sort of like a steering committee that we met 3 different times. 3 public meetings. We had an online survey. We had a work session with middle school kids at middle school, which was pretty interesting. All told, I think we probably touched about 120 different people throughout the process. We used a lot of different techniques. As mentioned, it was all virtual. We had a lot of Zoom meetings. We had tools that we used to get people to interact. So we had like a sticky board exercises. We did picture voting. We had something called Mentimeter, which was a tool that helped people engage and hit comments and questions. It was very interesting for us. We're used to doing these meetings where everyone sits at a table and rolls up their sleeve and we start drawing. And that we didn't get to do that here, but kudos to your for jumping in and finding a different. Quickly, you all started to talk earlier about vision, which we think is so important. And at its heart, this plan is about updating the vision. You already had a vision for Main Street. You had what's called a Livable Centers Initiative, or LCI plan, that was done 10 years ago. This was really revisiting it. Just quickly on some of the vision points. Main Street linkage, that's physical connections. We want Main Street to be more connected to the city, but it's also thematic and programmatic, social, that Main Street feels like it's a part of the city as a whole. Historic identity, very important. Forest Park has a rich history, and Main Street is part of that, so we don't want to make sure we're not forgetting that. Next slide, please. Walkability, very important. Someone mentioned, from the fire department mentioned pedestrian safety as an issue, and we certainly see that as an important factor. If you want a true downtown Main Street, it has to be a place you can walk safe. It also has to be inclusive, and inclusive means not just abilities for some, but abilities for all to participate in the experience of the life of the city and Main Street. Diversity we think is important. Again, that's both about the people, but it's also about the types of development. So we're not just looking at one kind of thing over and over again. There's multiple different kinds of development that you can encourage over time. Connected streets, meaning streets that go somewhere as opposed to sort of dead ends and not having anywhere to get to. And then finally, what it's really all about is quality of life. So this is about creating a better quality of life for your citizens. Next, please. So we looked at a variety of quick things we'll hit here, and some of you have seen all this, so bear with me. We looked at development, what future development could look like. So we looked at particularly that area along Main Street about different kinds of development. We used a lot of sample pictures and got people to tell us what they wanted to see. Next, please. We looked at a couple different areas on Main Street. This is a little farther east, so this is east. And then what could that actually look like? So you see here a picture in the lower right. This is Main Street looking east at Lake Drive. So that's sort of what it looks like now. A wonderful streetscape, but nothing behind the streetscape. So this is a vision of what that could look like with storefronts and some townhomes, a little bit of open space, ice cream shop, coffee shop, those kinds of things that we all see in downtown. There's another view. This is Hill Street. So you're now looking back west at Hill Street and Lake Drive. And the real focus on this one of a multi-use trail going down Hill Street. So right now it's very difficult to walk down Hill Street. This would make it much easier. This is on Main Street looking west, just east of Plaza at College Street. So this is the idea of some storefront kind of Main Street character retail. Go in. And back a little farther on Main Street, closer to Phillips. This is the idea of sort of a little bit of a park space with some multifamily housing. Again, that notion of diversity. In addition to development, we looked at streetscapes, where those could be, what those could look like. We looked at the notion of street grids. So again, you have a lot of big blocks in some places with not a lot of intervening streets. So to the extent development comes along, we're trying to create a concept where you would encourage some new streets to create more connectivity. Transit, super important, particularly the connection over to Gillum Logistics Center. Finally, multi-use paths are a big component here. I think many of you know about the Model Mile, which would come down Main Street sort of right into this area. So we've got a concept of how that could be extended farther in through the study area. A big component of that is the idea of a pedestrian bridge. This is not a small idea. This is a big idea. This isn't something you just go out and put in your city budget overnight and go build it the next day. But we're seeing a lot of cities start to do this. We don't recommend pedestrian bridges in over main streets and small little streets, but in places like crossing Forest Parkway, that's a hard street to get across, right? So pedestrian bridge is an opportunity for those big connections. You got to get over the railroad. It's also an opportunity for branding, so you can get your logo, your signage, you create a sense of arrival in downtown. We also looked at an open space network. Again, with the idea of rather than just one park space, you have Star Park, which is already a really big amenity that we're very familiar with. But there could be some smaller additional plazas in the Main Street area. We spent a little bit of time looking at Bill Lee Park. We have a small concept, if you go to the next slide, please. Just the idea of how you could update Bill Lee Park a little bit. We don't think you need to make big changes, but one of the things we noticed is a lot of the parking's in the middle of the park or sort of interspersed. If we push the parking to the side, you could get really a good usable open space in the middle and a really good walking trail and opportunity for food trucks and events and some of those kind of things we think are important. We know Star Park is really your heart of your community and where a lot of your events are, but we'd love to see Main Street get a little bit of attention, a little bit of be smaller, they can be more intermittent, but it's the idea to bring some life and energy. Thinking through in terms of implementation, we've started looking at your Main Street Overlay District. This is a zoning code you already have. And we've offered a few, I won't go through them all, sort of a long list, but we've offered some suggestions and we presented that to the Planning Commission last month and they adopted those. Really, it's about taking the vision that we've updated and updating the overlay district to match that so that they're sort of working in concert together. Go to the next one. A lot of that was really geared around creating sub areas. So rather than just one ordinance element that might apply to the whole area, you might have different things in different areas. So for instance, there, the development around Jonesboro Avenue, very different kind of development for Jonesboro Road than you would see along Main Street. And just finally, a couple of key things for you all in terms of implementation. You mentioned that updating the overlay district. We're really encouraged, you all act, there's a lot of public ownership of land in the Main Street area. The DDA owns some, the city owns some. And that's a real asset to leverage in terms of new development that gets you a chip you can bring to the table for incentivizing development, focusing on the quality and character of new development, taking advantage of your tools. Again, you have a downtown development authority, you have a tax allocation district. One of our suggestions is at least considering this isn't a hard and fast thing, but at least starting a conversation thinking about the Airport South CID, Community Improvement District. We're real close to the edge of that. That could be a real tool if that can be expanded. It could create a source of capital revenue for you to do a few projects. We're seeing more and more interest, particularly in the south side of Atlanta, of film and movie production. I think you're going to start to see some of that here if you haven't already. Fort Gillum is definitely a place where you're going to see that. There. And then finally, and this is the last slide here, flip to the next one, just a couple of projects you might start thinking about advancing. Pedestrian Bridge, we mentioned. I think James is looking in at to get a grant to do a feasibility study. Your phase 2 of your Main Street streetscape, you did phase 1 several years ago, looks fantastic. You could easily extend that. Model Mile, I think, is an important piece because that ties you to the region, that Model Mile trail. And then just some additional streetscapes to help create that character. That, I will take any questions.
Any questions or comments?
A lot to digest.
Exciting though.
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Item 8, approval of resolution 2021-31 to authorize sale of abandoned portion of J.G. Glover Court. Background and history. On August 2nd of 2021, the City Council authorized the abandonment of the northern portion of J.G. Glover Court, which was not needed as a public road by the City of Forest Park. The city notified the abutting property owner of its rights to acquire the abandoned portion of J.G. Glover Court pursuant to authorization provided in OCGA 32-7-4A. The property owner has requested the purchase, of the abandoned right-of-way. A resolution approving the sale is required by OCGA 32-7-4D. This is the final step in the process. Any questions or comments on this item? Item 9, ordinance to repeal and replace the City of Forest Park Chapter 8 zoning and Chapter 3 sign ordinances. Background and history. The City of Forest Park is updating its zoning and sign ordinances, which will address changing conditions that have occurred within the city and realign current and future community and economic development goals. Updates to the zoning ordinance will focus on creating a predictable use of adjacent properties, uniformity in lot development, prevention of adverse built conditions on adjacent properties, requirements of compatible land uses, and improved cityscape appearances. The zoning ordinance will also integrate new business uses, modernize district standards, incorporate design guidelines for the Main Street District, and address items such as building facades, landscaping, sidewalks, bike lanes, lighting, and signage. The city held numerous public meetings, workshops, and public hearings at the Planning Commission meeting to encourage stakeholders and citizen participation to help shape the new zoning ordinance regulations, achieve a neighborhood-friendly design, and stimulate economic development while maintaining the character of the city. Are there any questions or comments on this item? There are none. Is there something you would like to add? Oh.
But I did want to acknowledge that the collaborative firm is here tonight. We can do a presentation, but you're seeing most of the presentations that we've done in the past. But we're very excited. Again, I always mention that our zoning ordinance for the city of Forest Park has not been updated since 1959. So we are so excited about this.
Yes.
This is going to help us with development in the city because sometimes I have to seem like I'm making it up as I go. But now I don't have to do that anymore. We have an ordinance in front of us. So tonight we'll be asking to have a public hearing. I mean, at the council meeting, and then we'll adopt the ordinance, and we'll adopt the zoning ordinance, the sign ordinance, and the map at the same time.
Okay, excellent, thank you. Okay, and the agenda for the regular meeting will be as follows. We will commence in a couple of minutes here, and then we'll have the invocation led by Bishop Fortson of Paradise Church, followed by the roll call. We will have a presentation of a proclamation presented to Delta Sigma Theta sorority, background and history. Thank you very much for agreeing to support the efforts of the East Point College Park Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, Inc., as we celebrate Women's Equality Day on August 26th, the year 2021. On August 26, 1920, the 19th Amendment to the United States Constitution was certified that the right for vote to women was secured. In 1971, the United States Congress designated August 26th as Women's Equality Day. Women's Equality Day commemorates, I cannot pronounce that one, the passage of the 19th Amendment. Commemorate, there we go. In the decades since that passage, the precious right to vote has bolstered generations of women and empowered them to stand up, speak out, and steer the country they love in a more equal direction. This year of 2021 marks the 110th anniversary of the women's suffrage and the passing of the 19th Amendment. The East Point College Park Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, Inc. will be honoring this event. Any discussion? We will also have Ward 4 Yard of the Quarter presentation by Councilwoman Wells, background and history. Councilwoman Akins Wells would like to present the residence of Ms. Tina Thomas as the Yard of the Quarter for Ward 4. We will then have public comments. After the adoption of the agenda, we will approve the minutes from our August 16th work and regular meetings. Then we have the following agenda items for consideration: approval of the Sister Cities International itemized request of purchase under old business. For new business, we'll have approval of the IT director, approval of the mission, vision, and value statement, approval of title change from training captain to division chief, approval of public art and murals, approval of the American Rescue Funds allocation, recommendations and survey results, approval of resolution 2021-30 to accept the City of Forest Park LCI Main Street project, approval of resolution 2031 to authorize the sale of abandoned property at J.G. Glover Court. Then we will recess the regular meeting and open it up. No, I know, we have, yeah. We will recess the regular meeting and then open it up for a public hearing to hear those that are in favor of or in opposition of the ordinance to repeal and replace the City of Forest Park, Chapter 8 zoning and Chapter 3 sign ordinances. Afterwards, we will close the public hearing, reopen up the meeting, and then we'll have our closing comments by the governing body, and then we will have an executive session this evening. So if there is not anything, is there a motion to adjourn? That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Mears, all in favor? Opposed? All right, thank you. All right, and it is 7:03. The regular meeting for mayor and council for Tuesday, September 7th is called to order. Bishop Fortson, you have the floor, sir. So all those who are able to stand, can you please do so and then remain standing throughout the Pledge of Allegiance?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Let us all bow our heads for a word of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you right now for allowing us to come together and assemble, to come together to take care of the business that you have put in place in our responsibility. And right now, Father God, we pray, starting first with our city. Continue to cover us, continue to protect us, continue to bless the officials, the elected officials that have been afforded the opportunity to lead us. Right now, God, we want to say a special prayer for our mayor, that you continue to lead and guide her as she leads and guides us into the future of Forest Park. And right now, we also praying right now, God, for our schools and for our children, and that you continue to keep them safe, God, even in the midst of this pandemic. Please continue to keep us protected as the kids go to and fro from school. Protect our parents, God. And right now, God, we're also praying for all of our citizens, our elderly citizens, our middle-aged, everyone that is under the responsibility of the City of Forest Park. Continue to lead and guide them, continue to protect them, and continue to keep your hand on their lives. And right now, we pray a special blessing for the Forest Park Ministerial Association and for every ministry that is around this city as they continue to lead God's people, continue to give them guidance and wisdom as we navigate our way through this pandemic and just through our everyday lives. And these things we pray, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Roll call for the regular meeting of September 7th. Councilmember James.
Present.
Councilmember Anton.
Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Present.
Councilmember Aiken Wells. Councilmember Mears.
Here.
Mayor and council, you have a quorum.
Thank you. All right, proclamation to Delta Sigma Theta sorority. Ladies, if you want to come forward.
No.
No, oh, no, don't do that one. Don't do that one.
Say it if you're in it. Yeah. I think he jumped over here.
doing?
We have to go down there? I ain't got no mask.
I don't know.
After she read it normally.
Take a picture.
My Lord, these are kitten heels. Item 2, Ward 4, Yard of the Quarter. Councilwoman Wells, you have the floor.
So, excuse me if I'm talking, I just got a tooth pull, so my mouth is all stuck together and numb, but So the background and history of the Keep Ward 4 Beautiful program actually started, I seen the background and history, just said I would like to present something, but there is a little history. And so I initiated the Keep Ward 4 Beautiful program in 2016 in hopes that neighbors would convince other neighbors to keep their yards clean and looking pretty if they were rewarded. And so Miss Tina Thomas, she should have gotten it a long time ago, because when I tell you she keeps her home absolutely beautiful on the outside. The flowers, I mean, it's beautifully landscaped. And a lot of people like to ride by, and including myself, to see if Miss Tina's out there in the yard working, because she stays out there. So I just want to say thank you so much, Miss Tina, for doing your part in keeping Ward 4 beautiful. And this year, we're going to start something different, and to help you get to know your neighbors that don't live by you and fellowship with them. So once you get it, you'll get a sign to go in your yard for 60 days. And once that 60 days is up, the next person that receives the reward, you will be at the council meeting, and you will hand it down to them. So if you come up.
We gotta figure this out. Oh, that's the family. Okay, we have public comments.
Beautiful. The whole entourage.
Other families. That's so cute. Okay, per our charter, we have 3 minutes allotted per person to speak. We do have 2 people that have signed up to speak. And I'll just remind all speakers to direct all comments to the chair. And we will begin with Mrs. Lunsford. Good evening.
Ms. Lunsford, can you speak into the microphone, please?
A couple of things that I'm concerned about. One is regarding Haiti. My son has been to Haiti to help with recovery and stuff like that when you have natural disasters and all. There's been a lot of money sent to Haiti, and it doesn't get past the government. I don't know how in the world we could get computers, iPhones, stuff like that when you got such a crooked government. I want us to spend our money wisely. The second is regarding the mission, vision, and value statement that was introduced. We have ethics from our city council that they don't listen to. There's rules. And we have an ethics meeting that we can voice our opinions or concerns to, and there are no shows. What do we do in a case like that? Do we just throw out the complaint regarding the ethics? The third one is the signs, the murals. I think murals are great. I wonder if y'all are going to approve these murals, or you can let the public have input on these murals before they are put up. And I pray that they'll be in good taste. Diversity is fine, but I want it inclusive. I don't want it just one ethnic group, one ethnic. Let's have it all. It's Forest Park. That's who we are. And this last one, hey, Clemens, please forgive me for stepping over this. Uh-oh. I'm with CERT, and we help with the fire department rehabbing. We also work with the police department too. But the CERT team is in a dire need of new transportation. We have a bus, we have a Ford Explorer, and they're of no use anymore. They are just dilapidated. Pretty on the outside, but they're not functional. Would you please consider in government to let us have, or consider letting us have one of the Tahoes that goes, when y'all were upgrading your vehicles, to let us have one from the fire department? Wouldn't cost anything. And would look professional again too, instead of all of our private cars running around trying to assist the fire department. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, wow, that's, where did we get that?
Minister Cook?
Good evening, Mayor and the council.
evening.
Again, I'm Minister Cook, here representing the Forest Park Ministers Association. And I'm just here to share a little bit concerning our organization and invite you all, or invite everyone, to be a part of some of our annual events. In short, we're an organization that is servicing the community it's been servicing a little over 10 years under leadership of Dr. Beeler and Pastor Payton. We're composed of churches, government, city residents, and business owners, with the goal to unify the city and also enhance the quality of life for everyone here in the city. Upcoming, we have an event this Saturday, the Day of Prayer, and this is Bishop Fortson, who's stepping beside me to catch anything I may miss. But we'll be this Saturday. We'll be at Star Park at 12 o'clock, hosting one of our annual events, the Day of Prayer, which we'll come together and pray not only for the city and the government, but also for the world and things that's going on with the pandemic in different countries. We're also excited that we'll be partnering with the Chief of Fire Department and Emergency Services, and also honoring and remembering those lives that were given, or those lives that were lost 20 years ago on September 11th. Some other annual events we have, our school lunch project, where we partner with the schools here in Forest Park. Weekly, we give away a little over 300 lunch bags for a weekend to kind of combat weekend hunger. I'm not sure who was aware or whatnot, but we do have a large population of homeless students that attend these schools, and they may not be on the streets, but they may be in extended stay or staying with other family members or relatives or whatnot. So we look to try to combat that weekend hunger and give them something that can take them through the weekend and get them back to school until they're able to get back to the school meals. We also have our annual holiday gift baskets, which we do for the police, the fire department, and our first responders. Of course, we can always use volunteers and supplies with that. And we're also still trying to lock in a date for our annual political forum, which gives our residents the opportunity to send in questions concerning the candidates that may be running this year, and also gives the candidates opportunity to share their views and their goals for the city. If you have any other questions, if you want to be a part, if this was exciting for you, definitely reach out to me. I can add you to our email group. I can give you any other information you need. We host our meetings every second Wednesday of the month. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Minister Cook, can you share the contact information for the association, please, if someone wanted to reach out?
Yes, if you would like to reach out to us right now, the best way to reach out is through email at Forest Park Ministers Association @gmail.com. And we're on that 24/7, so you'll get a response within the same day.
Thank you. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
That was Councilman Mears. Is there a second? Councilwoman James, any discussion? Councilwoman James?
Yes.
Councilman Antoine?
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wells? And Councilman Mears?
Yes.
Thank you. Has everyone had the opportunity to review the minutes from August 16th? And if so, are there any changes to be recommended?
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second? That was Councilman Gutierrez. Any discussion? Councilwoman James?
Yes.
Councilman Antoine? Councilman Gutierrez? Councilwoman Wells? And Councilman Mears?
Yes.
Thank you. Item 4, approval of Sister Cities International itemized request of purchase. Is there a motion on this item?
Make a motion that we accept the third item.
That was Councilman Antoine to accept the third recommendation. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilwoman James. Any discussion?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
I would just say that, I want to get clarity on the specific countries that the items are actually going to.
So all of these items in item 3 are all going to Haiti. Is that correct?
Honestly, at this point, like, that's the one I would feel most comfortable with, because we don't know anybody in the other two, and the letters didn't even get there. Are these like paper letters we're sending or email?
No, well, if I'm not mistaken, I know there are paper letters, but I'm not sure if we had an email contact for Ghana, but I know we had an email address, and basically there is no specific country. It's just wherever the council directs me to do that.
Councilman Mears?
Yeah, I'm for this, but I think we need some more study on it. We don't have to give all that much to each one of them. We need to give some to each one of them, but we don't need the whole $15,000. And we need some way to trace the money. Is what I'm after. I know the country's in bad shape and it needs help, and I'm for helping, but we need to know some way to secure the people of Forest Park's money that we're trying to give away here.
Thank
So
you. Any other
that's all I gotta say.
questions or discussion on this item? All right. Councilwoman James?
Yes.
Councilman Antoine?
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wells? Councilman Mears?
Abstain.
All right, that passed. Item 5, approval.
Can I just make a comment on the past? Or no?
It did pass.
No, I just had
Oh,
a
sure,
comment.
yes.
I'm sorry, Mayor. I just want to, like, since we are, I guess, motioning, everybody here agrees that we want things in Forest Park, but like the Ministers Association is doing a lot of stuff. I know we can't directly give them money. We can't do that, but we can do it to other countries, Mike. How would we be able to assist, let's say, that meal program or some of the other things that they're doing?
So the sister cities, that was done as part of an initiative that the council joined. And so it's sort of a different, it's an exchange type, international exchange program. And the program is, the funds are authorized because we're doing things that the city has the authority to do. As it relates to the Ministers Association or any other group, we can partner with certain organizations to support programs within the authorities that the city has to support programs under our charter. And so it would be case by case. So there are certain things we can do and partner, and there are certain things we can't do. Like we can't just donate food. We can't do that, but we can support other types of things. And so again, case by case, if there are certain initiatives that the city can support, we bring those to the council for you all to approve.
I guess so. I mean, just to make, like, I really want just traction to start moving on this. Is there, Minister Cook, can you contact our city attorney and see what it is that we can do to assist your organization in doing all these good deeds in our community? Thank you.
Well, I'll get that to you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, let's have back a big event. Us and them.
Yes, sir, state your point.
I just want to make sure that we've got used equipment that they need over there that we donated, which is good. But if we need to find out why somebody won't help us get it over there. We can't, seems to me like we're a one-man band here. We got trucks, water buffaloes, different things, different monies we giving and stuff. They need help, when I'm for giving them help, but we gotta have somebody else in this fight besides us. And we can't get anybody to even help us to deliver the equipment that we got.
All right, thank you. Item 5, approval of IT director. Closing comments, please. Oh, yeah. You know. Is there a motion to approve Josh Cox as our IT director?
So move.
That was Councilwoman James, seconded by Councilwoman Wells. Any further discussion? Councilwoman James.
Yes.
Councilman Antoine. Councilman Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wells and Councilman Mears.
Yes.
Thank you. And
Welcome, Mr. Cox.
I was,
After the pledge, Mr. Cox, I'm gonna need you in the back going who, because these Marines are around us. Can't let them take care of who.
Miss Diane, I can't find what, I think I left the oath in the off, in my off. Oh, no, I have it here. Mr. Cox, can you step down so I can swear you in, please?
Jimmy.
Have an IT director and my microphone doesn't work.
First order of
But we
business.
do have a new clock on the wall.
All right, item 6, approval of mission, visions, and values of statement. Is there a motion to approve this item?
So move.
Councilwoman James, is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Gutierrez, any further discussion? Councilwoman James?
Yes.
Councilman Antoine?
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wells? And Councilman Mears?
Yes.
Thank you. Approval of title change from training captain to division chief. Is there a motion to approve this item?
So move.
Councilwoman James, is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Mears, any further discussion? Councilwoman James?
Yes.
Councilman Antoine?
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wells? And Councilman Mears?
Yes.
Thank you. Item 8, approval of public art or murals. Is there a motion to approve this item?
So move.
Councilwoman James, is there a second?
I second.
Councilman Mears, is there any further discussion? Councilwoman James?
Yes.
Councilman Antoine?
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wells? And Councilman Mears?
Yes.
Thank you. Item 9, approval of the American Rescue Funds allocation recommendations and survey results. Is there a motion to approve this item? That was Councilwoman Wells. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Gutierrez, any further discussion?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to implement some of the suggestions that you made
Mhm.
to have those items included in
Mhm.
there. Do we,
Okay.
I don't know if we have
Do we need
to
to-
amend it with that,
They
or
have to-
we could just state that.
amounts allocated here, and so if you were to amend it, we would need to come back and bring those amounts, so it's clear. So if you did want to amend it, I would defer to the city manager, but we probably would want to bring it back.
Or could we just amend it and add that dollar amount here? Because we have roughly about 600,000 left that we could allocate to those programs if so needed for the council.
Yeah, I would hate to keep people waiting. I mean, because I would have to wait for another meeting, right?
The meeting on the 20th.
So could we amend it now? Or
Yes.
Yep.
So I would recommend that you add about 400,000. And that would be set aside to assist Forest Park residents in the event the eviction moratorium is lifted, and we can directly direct that with a program with the city of Forest Park residents. Once we would look at the programs, we would bring those programs back, and we would basically have the council approve which program they would want to allow those funds to within the city of Forest Park.
With
Point of
that-
order.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Is that a paragraph you just stated? Wants to say what? Is that the motion?
Well, we have to.
I don't have the motion on that. That was just what my recommendation would be. The motion would be amended by.
Councilwoman Wells made the motion, so you would have to withdraw and then amend. And Councilwoman Wells, are you willing to withdraw your motion?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That motion has been withdrawn, and restate the motion, the new motion.
Motion would be in order to approve the recommendations with the amended amount of an additional 400,000 to provide rental assistance for Clayton County or Forest Park residents seeking or facing eviction.
What about the tree removal? The tree removal and the homeowner
incentives.
incentives.
So how do you want to allocate them?
Or you could put 200,000 in that, but I thought we have to research that.
Yeah, for the tree removal,
We could allocate the 200,000 for it, and then we could research it. If it's so, we could bring that back.
for both of those additional items.
Okay. So you wanna?
So to be clear, you talk about 400,000 for the rental assistance and then the 200,000 for the other programs?
Yes.
Okay, so Madam Mayor, motion would be in order to approve the recommendation with an additional $400,000 for rental assistance for Forest Park residents facing eviction, an additional $200,000 for the tree removal program, as well as the home, I guess, improvement accounts to be brought back to you after further research.
That was okay. Thank you. That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second,
Councilman Antoine. Any further discussion?
yes.
Yes, so,
Yes, ma'am.
with the tree stuff, that kind of scares me. So the city is gonna go on private property and, or have someone go on private property and remove trees from people?
We would need to research that. And again, as I mentioned before, one of the things where we would have some strong foundation is any trees that are threatening public spaces in the right of way. But any others, we would have to research. It's very similar to what Georgia Power does when they come in and
Have something to do with the city.
we'd have to find a strong public interest in the removal.
Any further discussion? Councilwoman James? Councilman Antoine?
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wells? And Councilman Mears?
Yes.
Thank you. Item 10, approval of resolution 2021-30 to accept the City of Forest Park LCI Main Street project.
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Mears, any further discussion? Councilwoman James? Councilman Antoine?
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wells? And Councilman Mears?
Yes.
Thank you. Approval of resolution 2021-31 to authorize the sale of abandoned portion of J.G. Glover Court. Is there a motion to approve this item?
So moved.
Councilwoman James, is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Gutierrez. Any further discussion? Councilwoman James? Councilman Antoine?
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wells? And Councilman Mears?
Yes.
Thank you. Is there a motion to recess the regular meeting and open up a public hearing to hear from the residents that are in favor of or in opposition of the ordinance to repeal and replace the City of Forest Park, Chapter 8 zoning, and Chapter 3 sign ordinances. That's Councilwoman James. Is there a second? Councilman Antoine. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. Now, per our charter for our public hearings, there's 10 minutes allotted per side, 10 minutes in total for those in favor of, and then 10 minutes in total for those in opposition of. And so if there's anyone that would like to speak in favor of this repeal and replace ordinance, you can line up now at the podium. Okay, there were none. If there's anyone that would like to speak in opposition of this repeal and replace ordinance, you may line up at the podium now. All right, there are none. Is there a motion to close the public hearing and reconvene into our regular meeting? That's Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That's Councilman Antoine. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, opposed? Thank you. Closing comments by the governing body. Oh, we need to reconvene. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. We need to approve it. Now, is there a motion to approve this repeal and replace ordinance?
So moved.
Councilwoman James, is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Gutierrez. Any further discussion?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
I would just like to say, great job. This is a long time coming. We have been wanting to get our ordinance updated for a long, long time. And this is the first chapter of.
It's 59.
many. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yes. Any other comments? All right, Councilwoman James?
Yes.
Councilman Antoine?
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wells? And Councilman Mears?
Yes.
Thank you. Closing comments by the governing body. Councilwoman James, you have the floor.
Thank you so much for coming out. Welcome aboard to our new IT director. Welcome to all of our new police officers. Chief Clark, you're stealing people. Just kidding.
Cheers.
But thank you so much for that. Just want you all to really take this coronavirus really serious. We've got some issues in the high school with some of our staff. Okay, I don't want to talk about it because I get emotional. But thank you all for coming out and we appreciate you.
Thank you. Councilman Antoine?
Yes, good evening, everybody. I want to say welcome, see some new faces around. Want to welcome the IT director. Thank you for the new position that you updated, police chief. Thank you for the job that you're doing with all the new recruits that came in. Also want to give a big shout out to the mayor and city council for passing this ordinance. Thank you for doing the right thing. I appreciate all the people that sends me text messages and emails about what's going on in Haiti. That shows that you have a passion about not just Forest Park. There's other people out there that God has created. And thank you for that, because you go unnoticed, and I appreciate you for that. Mayor, you did a great job with that initiative with the tree removal. I know that that's something that's going to help our city a lot. Those that don't know, the city has a bad habit with a lot of trees here. And it's just seconds away till a tree falls on public ground or private. I know the law when it comes to private, if a tree from your neighbor's house falls on your house, it's actually you that pays for that. Ma'am?
Wait, no, ma'am.
And I could have, addressed that too, but, and there's the law is kind of tricky on how do you determine a dead tree, but whatever the case may be, that's still not right. So that's a good thing. And the rental assistance, I hope that's something that we could maybe make easy for people to apply, because a lot of people are in a position where their rent is something that they have a lot of problems with. I know I get phone calls, and now I have a place where I could send help. Thank you all again. I know my voice is losing, so that's how many people that I have to talk to about what's going on. So thank you, City Manager. I appreciate your help, Mike, everybody in here. God bless you guys. And know that Boozy Antoine what? Love you guys. Thank you.
Councilman Gutierrez.
Hey, everybody, thank you for sticking in with us here. Excited about the big things that LCI project is. Just it's awesome to see those pictures and what our city can become. So real quick, just my condolences again to Fireman Gotti. This is just a devastating blow to our city. Just when one of ours that's out there every day, one of our first responders or police officers, something happens, it just really hits home because while we're asleep at night, they're out there doing the work. So just our condolences to his family. And I don't know, anything that I can do or we can do, just let us know. I had to clean up this Saturday. Nobody showed up. I was by myself. So I just want to, call to action to our people. It starts with us. I know that, at our social events, we have a lot of people there. And I know that's more fun, but if you come out and we can really take up a lot of ground and pick up a lot of trash if we have, more people. So first Saturday of every month, if you can make it out there, it'd be nice. Welcome to the new employees. Welcome to our family. It's not perfect, but no family is perfect. So just let us know how we can improve our city. If you have any ideas or incentives that you bring from other cities, because we've been pooching everybody, starting with the IT guy to the new police officers. Mike, I hope that nobody can do nothing to us. They just decided to come here. So the Haiti Initiative, the Councilman Mears asked about what are we doing with those vehicles. We actually met today with a nonprofit called Atlanta for Haiti and another one called Voices United. And they're going to help us raise money to get these vehicles over there. We also spoke to the contact person in Haiti, and they're very excited about that. And they're going through a lot with the earthquake. So hopefully we can get these vehicles over there, and I know we'll succeed. And very thankful for our city to, giving up those surplus items. I know they're going to make a huge difference. Last Wednesday, I was recognized as one of the 50 most influential Latinos in the state, and I just want to, thank you. Yeah, thank y'all. But I couldn't do it without you all and our people here. Like this. This is where all my work that they validated me from is from. I was the only teacher there, so I was really proud of that. I showed up like I always show up everywhere. So, if I don't dress up for this, I'm not dressing up over there. So I stuck out like a sore thumb. But I had the award in my house, and it was just very humbling to be around those people. And, it's just nice to get a, good job. So that was cool. We have the city, we funded 2 initiatives. One is the Panthers in Action, which we had last year, and then our senior committee, which we'll try to find a cool, catchy name without calling our seniors old, something related to Panthers. But the 24th, we're going to have a kickoff. We're going to have a bingo night. So anybody that y'all think, my idea with this is to bridge the gap between you, the people, and us as the elected officials, where y'all can gather in a place, feel validated, and any ideas that y'all come up together with, you can bring it up to us and we can make impactful, positive changes. So we're going to have a bingo night on the 24th, and on September 10th, we are going to have a motivational speaker come out and talk to our Panthers in Action. So that's for the youth committee on the 10th, and then the 24th, the bingo night. On the 19th, we're going to have our Falcons and Bucks tailgate. So y'all come out and support the Falcons. This might be the year. I don't know. Definitely for Georgia, it's the year. But I don't know about the Falcons. We'll see. But y'all come out and have fun in the community. Councilwoman Wells is out there feeding the crowds and the masses. So it was nice food and building community with everybody. So make sure y'all pull up. And we're also, starting planning our big city event for the Hispanic Heritage Month on October the 2nd. So hopefully y'all can go out there and get some good food and get your dance on. And I really like that idea from, I think, Ms. Langsford about the art. I think if we started like an art committee, some
Yeah.
people that can probably review, what we can do or bring more ideas. I think the more the people are involved, the better it is for everybody. So thank you, everybody, for listening. And, if y'all need anything, and let me know.
Thank you. Councilwoman Wells.
Just like to thank everyone for coming out. And Councilman Gutierrez took it away from me, but I was going to remind you all about the tailgate and also Fun Friday on the 17th. So I thought he would be here, Mr. Maxwell, our Parks and Rec Director. Like he's come in and done an amazing job with opening up our parks again, making the community feel welcome in their own city. So I just want to give a huge, huge, huge thank you to you, Mr. Maxwell, for doing such an amazing job with myself and Councilman Gutierrez events that we put on. We know we stress y'all out, but y'all are always there. Public Works, thank you guys so much for all that you do. And Chief Clemens, I have never, ever, ever, ever seen the fire department show up like they have been showing up for these last events. So I've been giving out cereal, like I get truckloads of cereal and I give them out at the office, at the council's office. And so I said, I'm gonna take some to the fire department. So I'm knocking at the door, ringing the bell, just ringing the bell. And I'm like, okay, so nobody gonna answer me. Nobody's gonna come to the door. I'm just trying to give y'all some cereal. Nobody came to the door, and then my husband said, did you see any trucks in the garage? I said, no, I didn't see no trucks. Well, they was all at Food Truck Friday. Like, that is so not normal. So, like, thank you for having them visual in our community and being hands-on with everything. Like, that means a lot to the community. So just wanted to shout you all out about that. And thank y'all so much. I hope everyone had a great holiday. And no, I was not feeding everybody at the tailgate. Councilman Gutierrez, we had our grill out there, and he made a comment that said, Councilwoman Wells, go get some food from Councilwoman Wells. And that's when all hell broke loose. So thank you, Councilman Gutierrez. And next time, you're gonna get a slab of ribs or two. Y'all have a good night.
Councilman Mears.
I want to give a thanks to the police department. I know they take a lot of heat. Mr. Clark takes a lot of heat. I've been in my neighborhood 60 years and never had any problem. But I had a situation a couple of weeks ago, and there was an attempted break-in, and I was sitting there in the kitchen looking out the backyard, and this gentleman standing out there in my backyard. So I didn't know where to offer him in or get my gun or what, but I called the police, called Mr. Clark, Chief Clark, and in 4 minutes, there was 2 policemen at my house. Now, I can respond to that kind of service. And with this new program that he's it orchestrated about the green cards, I got up the other night and the wife, one of the officers on the midnight shift, come by and put a card on my truck that he had been by after the accident problem, and just let me know that he was in the neighborhood. And my wife said, get up, somebody's getting your truck. And so we get up, and he wasn't getting in my truck. He was leaving the card, and I certainly appreciate his interest in the police department doing their job. That gentleman sitting back there in the back, he was there right on the spot. But you got to be careful nowadays. We've got transit people coming in. Like I said, I've been there 60 years almost and never had a problem. And middle of the day, and all my people live in my neighborhood are retired and they're home outside. Well, the lady that found out the problem was next door to the house that they were trying to break in. She was laying out by the pool. So you never can let your guard down. And always lock your doors. You can't never leave your doors open anymore. But I just wanted to give Mr. Clark and Chief Clark and his group of merry men, and thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilman Gutierrez.
Yeah, just to echo you, Councilman Mears, I had it here written down, but I can't even read my own handwriting when I get excited. So shout out Chief Clark and your department for helping me host the event with the county police chief. It was a great success, and I saw some people at your coffee with the chief as well. So, thank you for those initiatives. I think, that when we're the community involved, it just gets better. So thank you for that. And I just to that, add to that, like one time my neighbor called me that my dogs ran away, and they were out there and they saved my dogs so fast. So, shout out to the police department. Thank you.
Councilwoman James.
One final thing, two final things. One is, don't forget that September the 25th, the city of Forest Park is hosting a 5K, and we're putting together a team. So if you want to be on my team, Forest, it was called Forest Park Panther Strong. Just reach out and connect with me. But we want to really come out and show up for the city of Forest Park in our 5K. Also, there's flyers out there on the homecoming, Forest Park High School homecoming. We've been connecting to businesses and alumni that are graduates from Forest Park High School to participate. So we want to make it a really festive event. So make sure you get a flyer and plan to show up for that as well.
All right, thank you. I want to thank everyone for being present with us today. October 13th will be the city's second State of the City address, which will be at Living Faith Tabernacle at 7 p.m. And so I would love to see those that are here and all those under the sound of my voice present on October 13th. And if there's not anything else, is there a motion to recess and enter into an executive session for personnel, real estate, litigation, or legal matters? That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second? That was Councilman Antoine. All in favor? Opposed? All right, thank you. Okay, is there a motion to adjourn the executive session and reconvene into our regular meeting? That was Councilwoman James, there a second? That was Councilman Gutierrez. Councilwoman Jane, all in favor?
Aye.
He says I like this.
All right, thank you. All right, is there a motion to adjourn? All right, thank you. Second.
Motion and second.
Motion, James, second was Gutierrez.
What happened to Councilmember Anton?
He's in there, he's signing documents, he's still here.
Won't leave my book here, darling.
We done.
All your stuff out there.
We gotta make sure that door shut.
I gotta go out that door there.
Which one? This one right here?